All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Something Cafe podcast. I am your host, Celestino Dooley, and welcome to episode 41 of the Something Cafe podcast. Thanks for joining me this week, guys. Today, it is another failure of a day for a clinical professional to draw my blood. I'm doing some like insurance stuff and they're having to do like medical screening on me and stuff like that. And they have to do blood work, and I almost pass out every single time from blood work because I've had such a horrible history with it. Man, even thinking about it makes me feel lightheaded. I have the worst luck. I think it's because I'm fat, but it's also I don't drink enough water. So one thing on top of another, they can never draw blood. She stuck me twice. She almost went into the top of my hand, which just thinking about that right now, just like I literally just felt sick. But yeah, she couldn't draw blood. And she's going to be back tomorrow to do it. So, yay. Awesome. I guess I'm going to try to drink some water today. I need to put in a Walmart Plus order to bring me some flavored waters because I don't drink enough water. But she stuck me twice. She couldn't get it. I did pee in a cup. She got my weight, height, blood pressure, so, temperature, heartbeat. So, yeah, it wasn't a waste of a visit. She was really nice, and she was very cute, but, so, I got to talk to her afterwards and whatnot, like... Oh, and this was like a one where like they come to your home. So I was kind of nervous before. So I was like cleaning and I lit a candle just so it smells nice in here. But she liked Lars and Larry. She liked the cats. She's probably into me, like it's I have that effect on people, That's actually why she's coming back tomorrow. Not because she couldn't draw my blood, but just she couldn't get enough of this. So, looking forward to that. Hoping I don't see a wedding ring on that hand again. But other than that, that sucked. But what are you gonna do? I got thick blood. I've got thick blood and thin veins. And I've got a thick body, too. So it's like the worst. It's like everything. There is no blood being drawn. But I'm going to stop talking about this before my vision goes blurry again. Because I can already feel it. I've been playing so much video games. I am truly living the life of a 22-year-old male with a couple passions and hobbies. Main hobby being, what is my main hobby? Pokemon. That's like my main hobby. Pokemon and video games. Pokemon cards to be specific. I have a job, so I'm not completely a bum. But I am waiting to hear back from an interview. They're gonna let me know this week, so really hoping I get the job. I brought this up last time. I'm just transferring. I'm not getting a new job or anything. I'm just transferring to a closer hospital to where I live. So really hoping that works out. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna be really bummed if I don't get that job. They're interviewing a couple people, so hoping that they liked me. Um, but I'm waiting to hear back from that. But yeah, I've been playing a lot of the game I've been playing is Borderlands 3. I've been the last couple of months I've been working my way through the entire series. So Borderlands 1, 2, or so okay, Borderlands 1, Borderlands 2, Borderlands the pre-sequel, which is technically it's Borderlands 3, but it's like it's one of the main games, but the story takes place in between 1 and 2. And then after that, Borderlands 3, which is what I'm on now. And then after that, Borderlands 4 is actually it's not out yet, but there is I think there's a trailer. You can wishlist it on Steam right now. So it's going to be coming out soon. But yeah, I'm making my way through Borderlands 3. I've played 35 hours in the last 2 weeks. Definitely the kind of lifestyle that makes you feel motivated. I've been tickling the idea of going out running again. The motivation has kind of hit me. I probably like 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 a year and a half ago, or maybe I don't remember, but I got this bug to just like go out and run. So every day I would go out and I would run 2 miles. Actually, I think I would run 2 miles and then I would walk 2 miles. So I would like and I wouldn't even drive anywhere. It was actually pretty awesome. I actually really enjoyed it. What I would do is I would go okay, so I would like leave my apartment and just go out, just walk out to the sidewalk of the complex and just start running. And I would run to this park that I really, really liked. And I would run there and I would play Pokemon Go. And then I would walk back. And it was actually pretty fun because sometimes I would take wrong turns on purpose and just get lost on on purpose. And obviously I wasn't in a car, so like to go back I had to like open up maps. And I actually really enjoyed the adventure of it, and I've been kind of getting the bug to do it again just because I really need to work out, and I've always quit gyms. So I've been thinking about that. Plus it's going to be wintertime, so it's going to get a little chilly. It is. I mean, I live in Florida. It's not going to get cold, but the weather is going to be nice. So yeah, I'm been tickling with that idea, thinking about it. If I get this job at this closer campus, I promise I will be doing that. Like, cause it's gonna be. I would be stupid not to, because I will literally be so close to home that I would I would have like a change of clothes in my bag. I would go to work. Then at the end of my shift, I would go to the bathroom and change into some running clothes, which would be like a sweatshirt and some shorts. And I would go to I think I could go to the same park. Um and I would just go and run right after work, and I would get home around the same time as I'm getting home now. That's a promise. If I get this job, I'm gonna start running. Which is such a weird thing. Like, if you know me in real life, you're like, what? Like, what? Celestino, like, running is like the last thing he likes doing. But there is just something about nature. Like, I'm really again, like, the sounds so fun to me, but I haven't done it yet. Of like just picking I want to go to a park that I've never been to, or I want to go somewhere and just run and just get lost. Like that was a big part of what I was doing when I was running is like how how can I get myself lost? You know, I'm getting lost on purpose. I want to run down this street and then take this left and take the sidewalk through the golf course and then I want to look. Then when I'm done, when I've hit 2 miles, I want to open up maps and see just how far away I am and how far I got. That sounds fun. So I'm thinking about that. The first week's gonna be rough though. I remember, oh man, I remember the first week that I did that. Oh my gosh, dude, I couldn't walk. I couldn't. I could not walk. I couldn't. It was so funny. The day after, so I went on the run, and then the day after, to I had a I had an invitation to a private party at a club in downtown Orlando. It was a release party for a pretty famous producer down here, and I had a private invitation. I could not miss it. Like this was huge for me. Like I couldn't miss it. But I got time off of class to go do it, and I was wearing my suit and everything, and I couldn't. Oh my gosh, the club was like this very gothic, rustic kind of vibe. So I had all these like winding stairs and stuff, and my legs were shaking. Even when I was standing, my legs were shaking. I couldn't. I just couldn't. I could not stand. But I still went. Obviously, I had to. Like that was huge for me. Um, I was on the list. Um, but yeah, so I know the first week's gonna be rough, but man, shoot, man. Um, I've been matching with some chubby girls on the dating apps, so we'll see how that goes. Um, see if that makes or breaks my confidence. Um, I'm really trying to think about what I want to do to improve this show. I really need to be more on top of getting some guests on because I think that's when the show is at its best. When I have guests, and I have someone to kind of talk to because so I did an episode on all of my favorite podcasts like a month or so ago, and one of them is called the TMG podcast with Cody Ko and Noel Miller, and it's like one of my like core podcasts. Like I've been listening to it since high school. It's hilarious. It's probably the funniest podcast I've ever listened to, and I listen to a lot of podcasts, and unfortunately, Mr. Cody Ko went under. Mr. Cody Ko went under the bridge with a couple allegations of having intercourse with the 17-year-old at the age of 25. Um, and so he dropped out of the show. So now it's just Noel, which I can't imagine what that feels like for Noel. Like this is literally his best friend that he's been doing this show with for like 8 years, and it's made their career, not made it, like they were already really popular and well off before, but like this show really put them really put them up, right? And then all of a sudden Cody's not there anymore. And it's tough, man. The show's boring. I hate to say it, man, cuz I'm basically talking about my own show, man. but it is just, and he is trying. It breaks my heart. Like, he is trying. This show that him and his best friend had, that was doing that was doing numbers, and then all of a sudden his buddy had to drop out, and he's doing it by himself, trying to pick up the pieces. They completely rebranded the entire company, the entire show. They never addressed it, but he's doing it by himself. And when you listen to it, you can just hear, like, it's you can hear him trying. You know, like, really, like, you know, I never planned to do this by myself. He is an incredibly funny guy, but you can hear it in the episodes that he's doing by himself, that he's just like, damn, like, I can't do this, you know, like he's reading news articles and this and that and trying to make jokes, and you could just hear it, man. So I might be reading into it a little too much, but I mean, it's true, dude. I mean, it is tough, and it sucks, man, because that show was so good. And I'm not gonna speak on the allegations, but what is made public is Cody was 25, and the woman in question, Tana Mojo or something like that, I forget. She's another, person online, was 17. If I'm not wrong, isn't I'm not even gonna guess. I'm gonna just look it up. Hold on. So they live in California, and in California, the age of consent is 18 years old. This means anyone under 18 is legally considered unable to consent to sexual activity with an adult, regardless of the minor's own feelings or willingness. Engaging in sexual activities with a minor can lead to statutory rape charges and other legal penalties, even if the minor gave what appears to be consent by non-legal definitions. California does have certain exceptions under its Romeo and Juliet laws, where if both participants are close in age, typically within 3 years of each other, penalties may be less severe. However, these laws are complex and don't provide full legal protection in all cases. Yeah, I forget that the age of consent is different in, like, each state. Let me look. This is something I never thought I'd look up. Yeah, I thought it was 16, but I forget that there are certain I forget that it varies by state. So age 16 is a good amount of states. Alabama, Alaska, Arkansas, Connecticut, Georgia, Hawaii, Indiana, Iowa, Kansas, Kentucky, Maine, Maryland, Michigan, Minnesota, Mississippi, Montana, Nevada, New Hampshire, New Jersey, Ohio, Oklahoma, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, South Carolina, South Dakota, Vermont, Washington, West Virginia, and Wyoming. Age 17, Colorado, Illinois, Louisiana, Missouri, New Mexico, New York, Texas. Age 18, which is the highest across the United States, California, Arizona, Delaware, Florida, Idaho, North Dakota, Oregon, Tennessee, Utah, Virginia, Wisconsin, and Wyoming. Okay, gotcha. See, because when I heard the news that he was 25 and she was 17, I had the uneducated understanding that the age of consent was 16 across the board. I didn't know the truth, because this isn't something I ever even have to. It's not even info that I really need to know. But now that I'm looking it up, they are in California. The age is 18 in California. You ask, what the? Larry just did a Spider-Man jump. If you ask me, I think that should be 18 across the board. 17 is too low. 18 across the board, all 50 states. That's how, if you ask me, If you ask me, that's what it should be. I don't even. The fact that 17 and 16 is even in question. No, 18. That should be 18 across the board. What a weird day in the Congress room when this was brought up. Like a bunch of old white dudes sitting around, like, shoot, man. What do we want so like, let's say if, just throwing out an example here just off the top of my head. If I'm an adult and I want to have consensual intercourse with a young lady, what's the minimum age she can be and still consent and it be legal? Let's figure that out. I think 17. And Alabama said, apparently Alabama, Alaska, and all those other, they say, no, I think it should be lower. At least give us 16 years old. All right, fine. Like, what the? 18 across the board, dude. Come on. 18 across the board. And if anyone breaks that law, if they are even a day before 18 years old, execute the adult on site, shot to the head. 18 years old across the board. I've never actually looked into this. The fact that it varies is just that's disgusting. The fact that there's we can't in California, but if we go over to Maine, if we go over, if we can't in it's 18 in California, but if we just go north a little bit and go to Washington, we're good because it's 16. Get out of here, man. 18 across the board. Gosh, that just makes me upset. I don't like that. Now, and I hate that's in my search history now. Damn it. So yeah, that's what happened. And the reason I brought this all up is because I'm saying, when I was listening to the podcast where it's just Noel doing it, I'm like, damn it, is my show this boring? So I'm gonna figure something out. I really want this show. My dream is to have the show be something people get excited about. Like, I get excited when I see a new episode of any of my shows. The official podcast, Brooke and Connor Make a Podcast, the Almost Friday podcast, Will and Rusty's Play a Date podcast, TMG podcast, the Red Thread podcast, Criminally Stupid podcast. Like, I get excited when I see a new episode. The Bad Friends podcast with Bobby Lee and Andrew Santino. I get excited, and I really want this. I really want this podcast to be something that people get excited about. Hey, we are still in the infant stages, if you believe it or not. 42 weeks. That's 10 weeks off of a year. Can you believe that? Huh? Can you believe that? 10 weeks off of a year, brothers and sisters. So, after the little recap that we do, guys, okay. Black Ops 6 came out yesterday. Black Ops 6 came out yesterday. Huge news for gaming. Black Ops being an incredibly large series, huge in gaming history, and in the childhood memories of boys and girls across the world. Black Ops 6 came out yesterday, and I'm probably gonna buy it. Should I? No. Will I? Yeah. It is pretty awesome that Black Ops 6 has come out. I should finish Borderlands 3 first, though. Because I know if I buy Black Ops 6 and I play it and I tell myself I'll still play Borderlands, but then I'm not going to play Borderlands. So I'm probably going to finish Borderlands before I buy it. Which is probably good. I'll wait for the next paycheck. but because I did buy some Pokemon cards last week, so my fun spending, I believe is at its a limit. Um, if I'm gonna be a responsible adult. So, but yeah, pretty exciting. Black Ops 6. I'm excited to see. They've been fumbling the bag a lot with some. Listen. Call of Duty has been fumbling the bag for a freaking minute now. With a lot of its releases, the last one I played was Black Ops Cold War, which would have been Black Ops 5, but Black Ops Cold War, fun game, lasted about a month. It is upsetting, but I think I am going to enjoy Black Ops 6. I don't think it's going to have the same. I don't think we're ever going to get back that early Black Ops feel, because we're not children anymore. Come on, guys. But, there's something to it. And I'm pretty excited. So we will see. But as a responsible adult, I should finish Borderlands 3 before I even open Black Ops 6. Or before I even buy it. But I thought it'd be fun this episode. To go over some open-ended questions. I've been thinking about 41 weeks later, I'm finally figuring out what's a good way to kind of pad out, because I couldn't really find anything to talk about this week. It's I've kind of run a lot of my stories dry. So I found some open-ended questions. Now, let me tell you this. If you are looking for open-ended questions, do not Google open-ended questions, because this is pardon my French, redonkulous. I Googled open-ended questions. What do you expect to get when you Google open-ended questions? I'll let you answer. Okay. Interesting. Okay. When I ask you the question, what do you think you're going to get when you Google open-ended questions? If you answered with, well, you're going to get open-ended questions, you would be wrong. That is the last thing I got. Check this out. I Googled open-ended questions. The first thing I get is an explanation on what open-ended questions are. Apparently, the question, what are open-ended questions, is an open-ended question. Because an open-ended question is a question that cannot be answered in yes and no. And guess what, brother? I got everything but an answer. Okay? I Googled open-ended questions. This is the results I got. Open-ended questions are questions that cannot be answered with a simple yes or no, and instead require the respondent to elaborate on their points. Open-ended questions help you see things from a customer's perspective as you get feedback in their own words instead of stock answers. Oh. And I'm like, all right, Google, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. You're just trying to answer a question. Tell me what open-ended questions are. That's fine. Scroll a little bit down. People also ask, which is an example of an open-ended question? What are 20 open-ended questions? What is the meaning of an open-ended question? What are 5 closed-ended questions? A Wikipedia link, open-ended question. So literally just a definition of an open-ended question. Next link, how to ask open-ended questions. Next link, open-ended questions, what it is, examples, and advantages. Next link, open-ended questions, definition, examples, and tips. I thought if I Google open-ended questions, I would get flooded with links of like 20 funniest open-ended questions to ask your freaking dog. 20 open-ended questions to think about on a freaking Saturday morning. Something. And every single link is like defining what an open-ended question is. Oh my gosh, dude! When I saw this, okay, finally there's a link and a advertisement for an erection pill. Good deal. Go ahead and block that. I have ad blocker on. Why on earth am I getting ads for penis pills? Damn it. But yeah. So here's a link. Finally, if you scroll all the way down, 100 best questions to get to know someone better according to experts. We got to check these out. What is your favorite place on earth? Boring. There's a couple. There's like titles. Questions about likes and dislikes. Questions about hopes, dreams, and fears. Questions about that. Questions that spark debate. Interesting. Questions about family and community. Questions about personal history and personal essence. Questions about work. Questions about values. Interesting. Oh my gosh. This person is really trying. All right. What were we talking about? Open-ended questions. Let's get into it. If you could instantly learn any skill without putting in the time, what would you choose and why? Any skill. I would say skill. What could make me money? Well, no. I think I would choose, like, if I could instantly become a master at dieting and physical exercise science, that would be awesome. Because I feel like a lot of the holdup for people like me and my chubby condition is analysis paralysis. You've tried so many things in the past that just didn't really end up working out, and you get so unmotivated that you know that you like don't end up doing it and it fails. So when you want to try again, you're even less motivated because you're like, well, last time it didn't work. So I would say that would be if you could learn any skill without putting in the time, what would you choose and why? I would say, yeah, dieting and physical exercise. If I could become a master at that, because like I could think of something for money, but I think I'd rather choose happiness over money, and I am not happy right now. So sweet. If animals could talk, which animal would be the most interesting conversationalist and why? I think one of those 200-year-old Galapagos turtles. Don't you think? Wouldn't that be cool? Imagine the stories that brother's got. That would be awesome. I think that would be cool. One of those like 200-year-old Galapagos turtles. Let's see. Oldest turtle. Let's look this up. Jonathan, a Seychelles giant tortoise, is the oldest known living a fly just flew in my mouth. Jonathan, a Seychelles giant tortoise, is the oldest known living land animal, estimated to be around 191 years old. How cool is that? This is the oldest known living land animal, other than my grandfather, estimated to be 191 years old. Dude, him. I would want to speak to Jonathan. But what if he's just like senile and racist? What if he what if I'm able to talk to him and he's like, I don't think that Britain should have become independent. Like he's just like really slow and like senile and racist. Yeah, I would pick Jonathan. That's awesome. What's a small, seemingly trivial moment from your past that you still think about sometimes? What does trivial mean? Like something kind of like silly or stupid, you know? Because I think about a lot of stuff from my past that I cringe at a lot. I was a I was a stupid kid sometimes. What's a small, seemingly trivial moment from your past that you think about sometimes? I would say I think about, I don't know, past? How far are we going? I think about how I could have been a better person in high school sometimes. But that's not like a moment. I just think about, that's too open. Like that's way too open cuz I think about stuff all the time from the past. I can't answer that one. I just I can't. I have to pick one. I don't know. I guess the other day I was thinking about one of my favorite memories with my dad. Oh man, I freaking love my dad. This is one of my favorite memories ever. We went frisbee golfing and it was a lot of fun and we had a really fun time at the park. And then afterwards, he took me to Dairy Queen. And that was the first time, and he didn't tell mom this. It was so secret. It was the first time ever that he let me get a large Dairy Queen Blizzard. Mom and dad always, you know, like you're literally 10 years old, like you're gonna we already know you're gonna be fat, but like we're gonna do at least something to prevent it. So they were always like, no, like you cannot get a size more than medium. Like it's not allowed. Being good, you know, good parents. But then my dad was like, it's a special day. You can get a large blizzard. And I was like, oh my gosh, dad, you're the best. That was one of my favorite. That's probably one of my favorite memories with my dad. I don't know. I can't remember how old I was. I was real young. That was special. Don't you think about that sometimes? If you're not a parent, I'm talking to you. If you're not a parent, I think about this a lot. When I have children, um, you know, I think about like what I think about all of the memories I want my kids to remember like I remember that one, you know? Like I think about that memory about my dad and how special that was cuz it's such a simple thing. I literally got a large ice cream yesterday and it knocked me out and I slept for 4 hours. Like it's not special anymore cuz I'm 22 years old with disposable income, but obviously at that time that was like the most special thing because it was like all secret, you know. And dad let me get a large ice cream, mint Oreo. Um, and we were frisbee golfing, you know. And I think about, you know, when I have children, I want to make sure that I'm doing that stuff on purpose, so they in 12 years can make their own mediocre podcast and talk about, you know, like what their favorite memory of me as their father, you know. I was thinking about this the other day, dude. Like I really want like I want a daughter, you know, like like raise a really or like raise a really confident, caring daughter, and give her all the confidence in the world, and and like obviously I don't care, like son or daughter, but I was just like I was out the other day, and I saw like a dad like with his like young daughter. They were like, I don't know, getting food or whatever. I was just like, that is just like, that has to be so special for that father to be like, this is my daughter, and like, and if anyone even tries to do anything to her or at her, like I will split their skull in half. Like that's just so sweet. Put put that on a piece of plywood and hang it up in your in your kitchen. Touch my daughter, and I will split your skull into 4 different pieces, like a watermelon on a Sunday picnic. Um, imagine imagine you could live in any fictional universe. Where would you choose, and what role would you play? Come on, dude. Pokemon. Pokemon, dude. Of course. How cool would it be? And I would be a collector. In uh, in the actual TV series, Ash, what the Lars? Where did you come from, Bubba? Oh, Larsies, Larsies. Um, if you actually watch the show, Ash doesn't catch a lot of Pokemon. Like he literally will catch one Pokemon every 40 episodes. Even though the whole show, like the catchphrase has got to catch them all, Ash doesn't even catch Pokemon. He doesn't. He will if he needs to, if he's in danger or whatever, or if it's an accident. But he really doesn't catch any Pokemon. If you look at like Ash's team, or Lars, no. If you look at Ash's teams throughout like the history of the show, um, he only has six Pokemon, and like not all of them are even evolved. Like it'll be like a stage 1 Pokemon that can evolve, but he just doesn't care about evolving them. I would be in Pokemon and I would be a collector. I would like want to collect every single one and like battle with them and like level them up and stuff, or like evolve them. Like absolutely. Gosh, dude, how freaking cool would that be to have Pokemon in real life, dude? That would be awesome. If you could redesign society with one big rule or new idea, what would it be? Um, Sex crimes lead to indefinite, or sex crimes are punished with execution every single time. That would be my rule. Yeah. Sex crimes are punishable by execution 100% of the time. Actually no. Not execution. Life life in prison. I think that's worse. Because execution, they don't have to live anymore. That's way too easy. I would say sex crimes punishable by life in prison, definitely every single time, no matter what. Obviously, and I say life in prison and not execution because wrongful imprisonments happen all the time. Prison is a business, and there's a lot wrong with the prison system in America. In America, and luckily, we are in an age where we do have DNA sequencing, which we did not have 50 years ago, which is crazy. Think about that we didn't have DNA sequencing. Like, there's so many cases where they just had this dude spit or like DNA, and they would just hold on to it, not being able to do anything with it, but just holding on to it just because they were like, I should be able to do something with this in the future. And then DNA sequencing came out, and they were able to solve cases that were like 50 years old. Like, how freaking cool is that? So yeah, I would say, if the question is if you could redesign society in one big rule or new idea, what would it be? Yeah, all sex crimes, regardless of what it is, uh, have a 100% uh, guilty rate with life in prison. But the ones that were that would still need to be looked into, uh, if it was wrongful imprisonment, still happen, right? Because it's, yeah, I shouldn't have said execution, because it's not that, like, do I believe in the death penalty? That's a tough one. I don't believe. Yeah, I think I was just trying to be funny, but if I really think about it, I don't think anybody on this planet, no matter who you are or what you've done, I don't think. This is a tough one. Let me rephrase that. Let me back up a little bit. I don't think anybody has the right to take another person's life. But then I instantly think about Osama bin Laden. And then I'm like, you know what? We'll let it slide on that one. I think monsters. That's fine. Take them out. I don't know. It's a tough one, but like, it's really hard to try to have a yes or no answer to, do I believe in the death penalty? Because the death penalty is different from taking out Osama in the cave, right? You've got to understand that, right? Those are two different things. The death penalty is under a judicial system that deemed that consequence just and right for the receiver, for the convicted. And then the Osama case was a cool military redheaded dude goes into the cave and puts a couple in his head and pees on his corpse. Nice, USA. So yeah, I do. Okay, so there we go. Okay, I do not believe in the death penalty, but that doesn't mean I don't believe in putting a couple in Osama. Okay, I think we can settle on that, because the death penalty is scary, man. Because again, I mean, I'm good. The most important thing to think about is wrongful imprisonment, which is why I think that's the one reason I do not believe in the death penalty. That's the only holdup. Morally, or even if I think in like a religious, because I am a God fearing man. I am a unapologetic Christian man. Um, when I want to think about it in a religious sense, I think it is right to say God should be the only force in the universe to have the right to take a life. But the main reason I am against the death penalty is wrongful imprisonment. Cause that's just the worst, man. When you read some of those stories before we had DNA sequencing, or even now, you still have those now. Someone pays you off to or some gross person uh convinces you to take the blame for them and get killed because they'll like do something to your family or something like that. Like, oh my gosh. So yeah. Really answer yeah, but the answer to the question being if I could redesign society with one big rule or new idea, what would it be? Sex crimes, no matter what it is, life in prison. Bye bye. Um, if you could bring one extinct species back to life, what would you choose and what would you hope to learn from it? What are you gonna learn though? I guess I would do like I would probably want like an ocean animal because I love the ocean and the animals in it. I would probably do what's that like? It's isn't it called like the nautilus? But no, those are still a thing, right? Oh my gosh. Wait, is it still a thing or not? Yeah, it's not extinct. Damn it. Okay. Nautiluses are freaking awesome, dude. Those brothers are probably the coolest looking animals ever. I'm looking at the anatomy of one. There's the anus. Wow. There's the anus. Then where's the penis? Wow. How cool is that? How cool is that? Wow. I don't know. I don't know what I would learn from like bringing back an animal. Like what? What would I learn? I don't know. Probably bring back I would like to bring I'm gonna veto this question a little bit. How about what extinct species would I want to bring back to life? Gonna choose more than just one. All of the ones that have been wrongfully poached. Yeah, all of the ones that have been wrongfully poached for sure. I would say that all the white rhinos and the different big cats and some of the marine life, the different kinds of whales and dolphins, sharks. Yeah, bring back all of those. What's the best piece of advice you've ever received and how has it influenced your life? Oh wow. Wow, 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 wow. Um best piece of advice. That's a big one, man. I've received a lot of advice in my life cuz I've needed it a lot of times. I would say I don't know about advice. I mean, I have values that I think about every day that I live by. Like and I assume these values had come from advice that I had been given, you know? Like something that I practice every day. And a lot of this, you could say a lot of what I'm about to say is all talk and whatnot, and I'm just saying it because it sounds good to say and whatnot. But no, this I would like you to drop Occam's razor and believe me when I say that something I think about every single genuinely like the words are read and go through my head every single day with every hour, which is a lot. I understand, but it's true. Is grace before everything. And why is that so important to me? Because I am such a troubled person. I am such I am such an uneased, upset, anxious person that when I am treating other people, when I'm speaking or interacting with other people, grace is everything. Grace is, and this is a recent, within the last year and a half or so, this is a recent development within myself. When I think about grace, grace is, when I think about it, and this could change. I'm 22 years old. This could change. But when I think about it, grace is the most important action that a human could take in every single circumstance in his or her life. That's a lot, I know, but it's true. I believe it to be absolutely 100% true. Grace involves patience. Grace involves love without having the need. Like, grace involves love that is present without something happening to make it present. That was very confusing, but let me explain. Like love that doesn't need a reason to be there. You know what I mean? The way that you love a stranger, you know? Like I'm going to show you I'm going to show you love, and you haven't given me a reason. No. But I'm still going to show you love. That's what grace is. It's patience, and how can I put this? Like, it's patience and, do I want to say unneeded love? Is that the wrong vocabulary? To say unneeded love is like saying that the love is not needed. No, love is needed. But I guess I'm trying to say, like, love that isn't in love that is not in love that is not a response to something directly. Love that is just present already. The person didn't have to do anything. The person didn't have to say anything. It is love and it is patience that is there, that is present regardless. So, what's the best piece of advice I've ever received? How has it influenced your life? I could have heard that from anybody. I probably didn't hear it from anyone other than like the Bible, and I just thought about it more. Let's go with that, because yeah, I mean everyone receives advice all the time. Um, yeah, yeah. If there was a parallel universe where everything is the same except for one small detail, what would it be and how would it affect your life? So, if there's a parallel universe where everything is the same, what would it change? How would it affect your life? I'm like, one thing? I don't know, that I'm not fat. I think that would, like, literally change everything for me. My confidence, the way I think about myself. Like, if I was not fat but lived the same life of, like, I go to work, I come home, and I play video games and make a podcast, and I'm not doing anything groundbreaking here. Like, there are days where I do go to work, I come home, and I play video games until I have to go to bed. If I wasn't fat, like, I would actually be more fine with days like that, because I would at least feel like I'm good, like I'm like good, I'm like healthy, and I'm not healthy right now, so I would probably change that. We've got two more questions, and then I think we're gonna wrap things up. I've really been enjoying this, to be honest with you guys. I think this is great. What's one invention or innovation you think would drastically change life in 100 years? Um, am I saying that this invention will be created in 100 years, or this invention happens now and over the course of 100 years it changes life? Let's forget about the 100 years part. Let's just say, what's one invention or innovation that you think would drastically change life? What invention? Um, I would say maybe something with transportation or travel. I mean, you could say anything, but what's one invention? I would say something with, like a nuke. This is gonna make me sound like like some sort of leftist environment nut, but it is kind of true. I would say a new a new kind of material that replaces all plastic. A new plastic that is infinitely biodegradable and replicable. Replicable. Oh gosh, how do you say that? Replicable. Yeah, a new plastic that replaces all existing plastic that is infinitely replicable without the need of natural resources, or I guess you would need to use resources regardless, but like you wouldn't need to use environmental resources like oil, and it's infinitely biodegradable and safe, because there's a lot of really sad news coming out. Like there was a case where microplastics were found in the placenta of a recent birth. That is, if that didn't make you sad, then go read some go read a book or something, cuz that is just, that's upsetting. Gosh, even thinking about that makes me upset. Microplastics found in the placenta of a recent birth, like a 2024 birth. Oh my gosh, that's just, and like all the oceans, like the Great Pacific Garbage Patch. If you guys are not familiar with the Great Pacific Ocean Garbage Patch, go ahead and ruin your day for yourself and go ahead and just Google that. Oh my gosh, man. So yeah. And then the final question, if your life had a soundtrack, what three... Oh, that's kind of a stupid question to end this off. What the heck? If your life had a soundtrack, what three songs would be included? Come on, man. You're just asking what my three favorite songs are. I did look up some more, but I made sure they were deep ones. So let's grab one in here. Well, okay, I don't even have to read off of this. There was one that I saw the other day that I thought was interesting. The question was, what's the world population right now? I believe it is 8.1 billion people. That is, wow. If you could say something to each and every 8.1 billion humans on Earth, what would you say? This is not a back and forth conversation. This is not, but it's also not just, one sentence or one word. It's just, if you wanted to say something to every single human on Earth, like you could just tap into everyone's brain right now and just say something that they would hear, every single person, what would that thing be? Gosh. I would say, maybe something motivating, or like, hey, Venmo $20 to Celestino _ at Venmo or on Venmo if you want to keep living. Something like super bad like that. Huh. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe like oh man, I don't know, because it's like, what could you really say that would like change the world? Like, I get that they don't, like, everyone thinks that this is coming from like God, but even though, even if they all think that this is something coming from God, I don't know what I could say to them that would actually like change something. I feel like everyone would just be like, what the heck? That was weird. Yeah, I would probably just say, hey, right now, Venmo Celestino _ at Venmo.com, $20 if you don't want to have a heart attack in the next minute. Something really sucky. I don't know. That's a hard question too, eh? That's a tough one, eh? It would be something like that. Or like, listen to the Something Cafe podcast at uh, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music. I don't know. Huh. That would be an interesting one. Probably just like maybe like the lyrics to a like Three Little Birds by Bob Marley or something. Something chill, you know? But yeah. Guys, I had fun with that. I might do that next. I might keep this up. I might keep this up. I mean, this is something cafe podcast. This, some like some very pretty um lab employees at work or found out about the podcast and followed me on TikTok and stuff, and um they were asking me, or one of them was asking me why I called it something cafe, and I told her, and I said it's a cafe where everything, where we talk about everything and something. Something implies that it could be anything, and that's what we're here about. So yeah, guys, we can just go ahead and end her on that one. Listen, guys, thank you so much. Thank you so much for stopping by the Something Cafe. I've been your host, Celestino Dooley. You can listen to the Something Cafe podcast on every single platform. If it's YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, Amazon Music, freaking iHeartRadio podcasts, everything. You can follow Something Cafe podcast on all social medias as well, TikTok, Instagram, all of that good stuff. And I have been your host, Celestino Dooley, and thank you. Thank you for grabbing a cup and stopping by the Something Cafe. I'll talk to you guys next week. See ya.